I'm 47 years old and I have no friends. Well, I have friends, but not in the traditional sense as what a lot of people have. Military, well, ex-military, retired military, it's different because when I graduated high school, let me start back further than that. I've always had friends at school, you know, middle school, elementary school, grade school, high school, people that you hang out with, talk to. But once I graduated, a lot of people they went away, or some people stayed. I decided to join the military after a year being out because I definitely did not want to go to college. I was like, I hated high school. I was pretty decent in high school, but I couldn't wait to get out. I hated being in a classroom environment. But joining the military, I went away from everybody that I knew, all my friends that I hung out with, but I made a new type of friend in the military. So with that comes its own set of problems in a sense because you meet people, basic training, you're there for 4 to 6 months, depending on where you're at. Then you go from there to wherever they decide to see you anywhere around the world. And I ended up going to Fort Bragg as my first duty station. And follow that is, deployments to, Honduras, Panama, getting married, being stationed in Hawaii, going back to Bliss, going to, deployed to Iraq a few times, and going to other places around the world. But you make friends, but the sense is, you're not going to be there for that long duration of a time. You're going to be there maybe 2 to 4 or 5 years, depending on your unit and the needs of the Army and whatever training you get, qualifications that you get sent to other units within the installation, or you'll get sent to other duty stations within the U.S. or around the world. So, excuse me, you'll make friends, but sometimes you won't see them again because depending on the situation, the ETS from the Army move back to where they come from, back to their home country. They end up, dying because it's in the military, training or being deployed. But yeah, you make friends, but you end up going to different parts of locations around the world. What thing that YouTube has done for me is that, yeah, I put videos out there. I talk about whatever. I rant, I'll bash, I'll give information. It doesn't matter, But what it helped out is that it helped me, I guess, become acquainted with friends that I haven't seen in years. Like people I've met in Hawaii, in Korea, basic training, Honduras, Germany, Panama, Iraq, even interpreters that that I considered my friend by always in Iraq. I ran into one. Well, he came across my channel. He's in Florida, an interpreter. One of my friends that I met in Hawaii, he's in Florida. I'm like, holy shit. One of my roommates that I haven't seen in like at least 10, 15 years, he's living over in New Jersey. So I have friends, but like I said, not in the traditional sense. They're not physically present, put it that way. Like I said, my friends, we chat online through Facebook forums, through, YouTube, gaming. We interact that way. Or you'll post something online and they'll find you years later. Oh shit, what up, Jay? Sern Jay? And that's how we communicate. But it's crazy too, because like right when I retired from the military in 2017, I realized that I was in an unusual situation because here I am. I was 38. 2 months later, I turned 39, retired. My family's working. My, brother, sister, they have jobs. They were working. So I'd wake up early still because you used to be in the military and you realize, holy shit, what am I going to do to fill my day? And you try to think of who do you know that's still in the city? Because I left El Paso when I retired and moved back to to Dallas. And like, you realize you've been gone for 20 years. And now everyone's gone. You forget names. You don't have any type of contact communication. So you're like, what am I going to do? So you start picking up hobbies. Like me, I started attending, I went to a lineman school where you learn how to, climb up towers, put cell phone towers together, the antenna, stuff like that. I did that for a while, met some people, went to IT school, did that, graduated, met some people, went to occupational therapy school, graduated that, met people, just different things, moving around, during COVID. I met different people that way. When I even got a security job, an armed security job here in Washington for a while, met people that way. But my thing is, I'm not alone. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely because I don't ever really feel it. I know I do stuff on my own a lot of times, having girlfriends, having fiancés, being stuff like that, children, family to talk to. I always got somebody to talk to. That's never an issue. I never feel lonely. Because being alone is a physical state of mind. It's like, no one's here, but I know if I need some help, I can reach out and talk to somebody. Like here, being watched by myself, I still communicate with a lot of different people. When you're lonely, it's completely different. To me, lonely is like a mental state where you could be in a room crowded full of people, even people that you've known for years, but you can still have that sense of loneliness. That's completely opposite of me. I don't have that. So I jump online. I got stuff to occupy my time, do stuff, go places anytime I want. Because being retired, tons of options. You choose to work, you choose not to work. Start a business, game, writing, YouTube, watching. I got things that occupy my time that I communicate with people on a daily basis. Such as I know a lot of other people out there in the world, specifically veterans, do the same thing. Because I got lots of friends online. Like I said, I have friends, just not in traditional sense like most civilians do. People that you get up, work with, 9 to 5, get out of work on the weekends, you go hang out with them. I've never been that way. Well, outside of the military, I've never been that way. But, when it's in the military, yeah, that's all we do. We meet friends, meet people, do stuff, hang out with. But these days, it's like I said, it's mostly online. And I got friends in all the different states, got friends in different countries. I got people that are still in the military. So I hear the different changes that they've done in the military since I've been out. It's different for military people. There are some people who do get out, they go back to their towns, and their friends are still there. Those are people more likely living in smaller towns. So where people, they never leave. They grow up, they raise a family, they'll die there in that one town. So I couldn't imagine stuff like that because, after coming from a big city, going from Dallas, going around the world, being stationed in small towns, being stationed in large towns or cities, move back to Texas, being surrounded by people I know. It's other than family, I really don't care too much about it. Not to say I don't care about my friends online. Yeah, I communicate on a daily with them. We always, exchange dumbass, vulgar memes. That's part of being fun, especially when you're online. Like playing something like, whatever game you're playing, you start exchanging stuff, talking shit, bringing up memories, things that we've done that was stupid in the past. So, yeah, traditional sense of friends, I don't have them. But friends that are, different locations, yeah, I communicate all the time. But not too many people have that. Some people don't have friends in the physical sense or the online presence sense. Some people are out there just struggling. It's like this video, the background, that's pretty much like me. Some people look at it, he's walking towards sundown, so his time's running out. To me, I look at it as it's a new dawn. I'm walking towards the sunrise. So that's how I feel it. I always got something to do, especially being here in Washington. There's way too many things to do here. Like I said, the most difficult part of my day is trying to when I wake up, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But yeah, as far as traditional friends, I don't have them. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Because some friends, they do one or two things. One, deposit things into your life, and others withdraw things from your life. Withdraw things, those would be the ones that, where they withdraw knowledge from you. Sometimes, it's financial, it's mental. They do this strain on your life or your situation, and they're not good for you. And then other friends that deposit knowledge, where it's knowledge, whether it's understanding, stuff like that. I have those friends as well, especially through, support groups that are online, specifically Facebook, like 22 is 22 too many. I drop little, nuggets of information or wisdom or, you know, something funny just to cheer up somebody's day, because you never know if someone's on the brink of deletion. So got to keep that in mind for those who don't have friends. But do I have friends? Yes. Yes, I do. Just not in the traditional sense. So let me throw your thoughts and comments down in the comments below. You know, are you in the same situation? Or you grew up around your friends? Or you guys still together talking about the same shit every weekend? Let me know. You know, comment on this video. You know, am I rambling? Yeah, I do ramble. I don't care. It's part of, you know, doing the whole YouTube thing, to ramble a lot of times. It's one of my first videos I've done without any context or any other video attached to it. It's just me talking into my camera right there. So let me know. Thoughts, comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Catch you next video. Peace.